Our top story tonight, a Bluffton neighborhood split over how to handle the deer population.
Some say the culling program is necessary for safety, while others question the process and even their own safety. WSAV's Danielle Cobb shows us what neighbors are saying and what's happening after dark.
A decision to start culling deer has nearly divided this neighborhood in half. And to one side, it's not because they don't agree with the measure, but they say it's how it's being done.
The culling started Tuesday, and I didn't sleep Tuesday till Friday.
Many neighbors in Rose Hill Plantation say a Tuesday neighborhood-wide vote to approve for 141 deer to be killed has led to a lot of concern and an immediate midnight war zone.
It's turned into more of a free-range hunting ground in a gated community that's being unsupervised.
The herd, I feel like personally, has been wiped out.
Neighbors tell me the sharpshooters hired by the Property Owners Association and required by SCDNR has been questionable. They say they have refused to say when they'll be hunting, leading to worry about safety for the next few weeks, but also the legality behind the entire operation.
We have asked South Carolina Department of Natural Resources to look into and investigate.
There's, a lot of anxiety and nervousness and questions. Usually once they kind of get into it and establish it, it becomes acceptable.
DNR officials say they understand the concern, but the company and POA surveys and permits were verified before the culling began. They say much of their involvement ends there.
All we require is that they use suppressed weapons and they report everything, and they, the deer processed and donated. It's usually up to the management of the community on how they relay information to their residents.
DNR says while they understand the concerns from Rose Hill residents, the authority is in the POA's hands. And while 141 deer may seem extreme, it was approved as necessary for the safety of this neighborhood. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
New at 6, authorities investigating the death of an inmate at Smith State Prison. Georgia corrections officials confirm that Nicholas Schaefer, who was serving a 20-year term for kidnapping out of Newton County, died yesterday following a fight with another inmate. The body has been turned over to the county coroner and will be sent to the GBI crime lab to determine the official cause of death. But officials tell WSAV the death is being investigated as a homicide. We will follow this investigation and provide updates as more information becomes available.
New developments in a deadly shooting that claimed the life of a 14-year-old boy in Chatham County. A grand jury has now indicted 2 teenagers in connection with the case. On February 4th, a Chatham County grand jury indicted Marcus Thomas Jr. and Caesar Tompkins Jr. Both are charged with malice murder, 2 counts of felony murder, criminal attempt to commit armed robbery, and aggravated assault. Prosecutors say the charges stem from the shooting death of 14-year-old Markel Bush. The shooting happened September 18th in the 17700 block of West 57th Street. Police say officers found Markel Bush unresponsive inside a home with a gunshot wound. A short time later, officers stopped a vehicle near West 63rd Street and Montgomery Street that they say was leaving the scene. Marcus Thomas was found inside that vehicle with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound and was taken to the hospital. U.S. Marshals later arrested Thomas, and Caesar Tompkins turned himself in on November 13th.
Happening now in Pooler, a meeting is underway about a proposed massive development that could significantly change the area. Let's take a live look inside that gathering. Forest Places LLC holding an open house at Pooler City Hall, where residents are getting a first look and asking questions about the large-scale mixed-use project planned for Pine Barren Road and Pooler Parkway. The development would include more than 400 hotel rooms, a 100,000 square foot grocery store, an amphitheater, restaurants, and up to 2 stations. This meeting goes on until 7 o'clock tonight. WSAV's Jillian Coles is in the room for us. She will bring us the full story coming up tonight on WSAV at 10 and 11.
Also happening now in Statesboro, the city is holding a town hall to hear from residents about a proposed fire fee that could be added to utility bills later this year. That proposal comes after Bullitt County and the city decided not to renew their fire services contract last year. City leaders say the proposed fee could generate nearly $4 million annually to help offset that loss and keep up with rising costs. If approved, the fee would go toward maintaining fire department staffing and purchasing new equipment. Just last week, the Statesboro city manager spoke with WSAV about how the fee would impact current utility customers.
The structure right now is they're looking at a charge per square foot for a house, and I think the minimum bill would be like $5. And I think what we've been looking at, we said the average may be about $23 a month.
WSAV's Evan Smoke is at the town hall. He will have a full report, including public reaction, tonight on WSAV News 3 at 10 and 11.
Our crime and safety report now. Savannah officials marking a major milestone in public safety this morning. The city held a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Northwest Precinct of the Savannah Police Department. Funded in part through SPLOST 7, the facility will replace the currently leased space on East Lathrop Avenue and will include both a police precinct and what they're calling a real-time crime center. Construction is expected to begin soon, and the city says the new facility will provide modern resources to better serve Savannah residents.
In the Lowcountry, South Carolina has consistently ranked at or near the top nationwide for DUI arrests and DUI-related deaths over the past decade. Now, one Lowcountry lawmaker says it is time for a change. As WSAV's Andrew Davis reports, the proposal would update state law in an effort to give prosecutors and law enforcement more tools.
A lot of bad outcomes in South Carolina in terms of drunk driving deaths, in terms of acquittals in DUI proceedings, because there are a lot of loopholes in our code that defense attorneys take advantage of.
That's why Senator Tom Davis sponsored a bill designed to close those loopholes.
If there's any interruption at all in those body cameras, or if there's any time when that body camera, gets off of the motorist and veers away and for a moment is focused on something else, those are grounds to have the video thrown out entirely.
This legislation isn't just about body cameras. The overhaul of state law would make criminal penalties more severe and expand who's allowed to draw blood to determine an alcohol level. And any plea deals would have to be heard in a courtroom by a judge. Solicitor Duffy Stone says the current DUI statute is too complicated and leads to problems for prosecutors.
So you're talking about 10 pages in the South Carolina Code just to explain the crime, when you've got crimes like murder, which is a one sentence.
While attorneys are challenged by the law, Stone says because of the way it's written, it's even harder for law enforcement to enforce and get convictions.
It was drafted with the intent of being tough on drunk drivers. What it ends up being is tough on law enforcement officers, them trying to do their job enforcing the laws.
The bill has already passed the Senate, now is in front of a House committee. While it seems to be a big step forward, Stone says there's a lot of work still to be done.
We're just going to have to wait and see how that bill ends up coming out before I can tell you if it's accomplished its goal or not.
Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3 on your side.
In Georgia, there is a new push at the state capitol to make housing more affordable for homeowners. Republican lawmakers have introduced the HOME Act, a plan to phase out local property taxes across the state. Under the bill, the homestead exemption would increase to $10,000 through 2028, rise to $30,000 in 2029 and 30, and jump to $60,000 after 2031. Lawmakers say the goal is to ease the burden on homeowners and housing costs continue to climb, while also preventing government from profiting off of rising home values.
If you've invested in a community, if you've paid your mortgage, you shouldn't have to pay rent to the government to keep that house for the rest of your life after you have it paid off, at the threat of losing your house if you don't pay.
State leaders say the plan would shift funding for local governments and schools, allowing counties to use an optional local sales tax to make up for lost property tax revenue.
New at 6, February is Heart Month, and today we are seeing how technology is helping patients catch heart issues early, sometimes before they even know something is wrong. Daniel Smith was going about a normal night when his heart smartwatch started making a dinging noise. It set a notification that prompted him to seek medical care, leading to the discovery that he was in a dangerous stage of atrial fibrillation. Smith spoke to WSAV about his experience, telling us even a machine at the hospital didn't catch anything wrong with his heart.
There they took a EKG and nothing was happening, and everything was perfect. So I showed the doctor at the time all the information on my phone, and he said that I was an AFib and then referred me to Dr. Sim.
Well, doctors say this type of technology is becoming an important tool for detecting heart conditions like atrial fibrillation, which affects millions of Americans.
WSAV Time Saver Traffic is brought to you by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, thankfully in our Time Saver Traffic report, we haven't been dealing with many issues on the major highways heading out of Savannah. Just under an hour to get to Statesboro, about 11 minutes right now to get from downtown Savannah to Pooler. We have another dry day on the way for our Tuesday, but rain chances do make a return to our forecast starting by Wednesday, and then even more rain is expected over the weekend. The complete forecast details are coming up.